Okay. Once again, one day we will figure out how to stream live on YouTube with sound. Why? Okay, now I get a message from my team that we got no sound. That's hilarious. All right, folks. So here's the rundown. Let me repeat myself and let's summarize this quickly for you guys. I am going to be sharing with you on tonight's episode my generational wealth exit strategy. I'm not here to give you financial advice. I'm not here for you guys to copy what I'm going to do, but I am going to tell you what I'm holding right now and how I'm going to be building and keeping generational wealth, how I can hand this thing on down to my family, my kids. They can start to run it and I can move on to other things with my life as far as giving back to my community, giving back to humanity. So in this session, I'm going to run through quick updates. Let's look at the charts. Let's look at the prices real quick, but then we're going to get right on into it. And as I was telling you guys with the sound off, with the mic off, I'm going to go through the percentages that I have in my portfolio for as far as cash, XRP. But the main point that I was saying is that my exit strategy is really simple because I'm not diversified into 20 different cryptos. I don't have to figure out how I'm going to have an exit strategy for 20 different cryptos, multiple precious metals, real estate. I still am getting just started in real estate, right? But we've created a serious plan, a serious strategy for rolling out in each one of these asset classes that is going to, function and work together, right, to build this generational wealth. It's not just a meme. It's just not something that we're just throwing out. We're actively implementing it. I've already began. This isn't something that I'm hoping on doing someday. No, here's what we're really doing right now. I'm going to lay it all out for you guys, and then I'm going to show you where we're going to go with it once we get further down the road, right? Very excited for this session. It's going to be very important. I know a lot of people have been asking me about exit strategy on XRP. So really looking forward to sharing this information with you guys. Real Person Jedi already started out this session with a $17 super chat. Greatly appreciate that. Joe Reese, thank you for the super chat. And R. Vasquez, thank you for the super chat. Okay, thank you guys. I appreciate the support. Let's run up this session tonight, okay? Let's take a quick look here. Right now, at the time of this recording, we have Bitcoin at 20,300 is our price right there. Ethereum just under 1,600 and XRP at 45 cents. Okay, let's pull up our Bitcoin charts. Let's take a look here. You guys can see today we hit a new microcycle low of $20,030 hanging on the edge, okay? And that's how we started out today before we finally got some green candles and recovered back up to that 20,300 level we were trading at last night. Now, we are moving into a very crucial time. I've shown you guys here. We got a very limited amount of time here before we're expecting some election chaos to come in, some volatility. So be prepared, be ready for that. And as I'm going to share with you guys tonight, my complete exit strategy for what I'm going to be doing here, you guys should be rolling over your exit strategy, your portfolio, looking at your allocations. Look how much cash you got right now to buy the dip, looking at the positions you have right now. Maybe you want to take a loss. If you're at, you're at a major loss in one of your bags. Now we get to the end of the year, so we got some tax planning to consider. But let's take a look here. I had a couple tweets that I did want to share with you guys real briefly. So Geneva Rock Dector sharing with us the layoffs announced in the last day. Lyft at 13%, Open Door at 18%, Stripe at 14%, Chime at 12%, and Twitter at 50%. And the Morgan Stanley layoffs are unknown at this time. Now, we also have VeriDAO LLC has filed a motion to file an amicus brief. That is Veritasium, the DAO for Veritasium, Reggie Middleton's coin that he created, and the Veritasium project that was confiscated by the SEC. Actually, over 90% of the supply of the Veri token was confiscated in the SEC settlement with Reggie Middleton. If you guys haven't already, make sure you check out that interview. But this is the decentralized DAO for the Veri token holders. So this is not Reggie's deal. This is the community. The VeriDAO community is looking to file a motion for amicus brief as well. Let's see what else we got. Bank of England warns that the country is entering the longest recession in modern history. This blood moon, and see, this is very interesting to see. Everyone's now talking about the blood moon, right? as we've been warning about this, the full moon lunar eclipse on our election day. This is from Disclosed TV mentioning this. Blood moon lunar eclipse to rise on election day over the United States, the last total lunar eclipse the Earth will see for the next 3 years. How about that? Now, Donnie Darkin, he's been putting some really, really good connections together for us. He's not a fan of Trump, by the way, but that's all right, right? It's okay if you have an opinion. It's okay if we disagree. Let's look at this one. Donnie says this blood moon is also the 66th blood moon in Donald Trump's life, including the blood moon Trump was born under. Revelations is the 66th book, final book of the Bible, and also 11 times 8 is going to equal 88, and Trump equals 88 in simple English gematria. So remember, back to the 8-8 connection, this is why we knew that some event was likely to occur on the August 8th date. And then, of course, that was the day that Trump was raided at Mar-a-Lago. So very interesting how that worked out. As far as the timeline goes, it's a very interesting moment here going in over the next week into the election cycle. It's going to be pretty massive. Continuing on, Rosie Rios enjoyed the Future of Digitization panel at Web Summit in Lisbon. Okay, so we love to see Rosie Rios making her rounds. Now we have Michael J. Kramer right here, and he's showing us the VIX 2022 to the VIX 2008. The VIX is your volatility index for your stock, as you can see, with the 12-day shift that he put on the S&P 500. We showed you that last night. It's matching pretty close with the fractal that we're currently trading in. And then you see what happened in 2008. Now that chart going up, remember, this is the volatility index. Okay, so that means we're going to get volatility, and it is going to be most likely to the downside if we match up that S&P 500 fractal as well. Another one for us here, Leia Halpern, okay? Santander UK have implemented a €3,000 a month limit on buying crypto from exchanges. Excuse me. The bank says they may ban deposits to exchanges absolutely in the future. Remember, they only ban what threatens them. If this isn't your signal to buy, I don't know what is. Yeah, now obviously, you know, she's a big Bitcoin maxi, doesn't like XRP. We already had that conversation in regards to Leia. But on 99% of the stuff that she's got to say, I actually agree with her, right? You know, as far as she seems to be relatively libertarian and, you know, getting power back from the government. But interesting to note here that Santander is a Ripple partner. So someone who's been tapped in on cryptocurrency for years, right? But they are choosing to limit $3,000 a month on the buying from crypto exchanges. And that is an unfortunate, you know, crackdown. And that's, to me, that's not from regulators. The only reason really that we could put together is Leia's speculation here is that they are threatened by this, right? And that they want to keep us out. After regulations are set, after the level playing field is set, you know, there's going to be some tokens that we're still able to trade and play around with. But we know that there's going to be a handful of utility tokens that are actually running the whole damn system. And if they're locking us out and only, you know, allowing us to buy 3,000, add it to the list of challenges for acquiring suppressed assets, right? You got challenges across the board acquiring suppressed assets like silver, XLM, other utility cryptocurrencies. Here, Santander are going to implement you to 3,000 a month. Now, on the other side of that, we do have good news tonight that a Canadian exchange has relisted XRP. I'll mention that here shortly. Now, I wanted to show this picture here from Digital Asset Investor. He says, never forget. Now, this is Greg Kidd with, oh gosh, what's his name? Okay, I'm blanking on his name right now. That would be Jack Dorsey, founder of Twitter. That's Jack Dorsey was sleeping on Greg Kidd's couch is how the story goes. And so it goes to show that, you know, you have connections all here within the PayPal mafia. Greg Kidd, earlier investor in Facebook, Twitter, and he was also one of the early investors in Ripple, right? And he's the one who declared XRP as the intergalactic currency. Now, I love this tweet here from Robert Kiyosaki. Message to academic liberals. Capitalism is better than communism. And he's got the Ferrari here with the 1.9 GPA is what he's got on his license plate. And, you know, very similar to Robert, folks, I was not a straight A student. I actually lost interest in my academic studies in high school and was very distracted. But I have seemed to figure out here once we got into the business real world where real money gets done and moves, we are doing just all right and becoming a successful capitalist. And, we continue to ask, how is that program working out for the socialists, for the communists, for those that want to censor others, that want to shut down others, and want the free check handout, somebody else wipe my ass? How's that program working out for you guys? Okay. Yeah. As Robert's whipping around the Ferrari and has definitely created generational wealth. Oh, and by the way, look at that beautiful safe. He's got two safes next to the Rari. Robert Kiyosaki getting it done. Absolutely. Now, James Phelan reporting the SEC has filed a motion to extend the time to file all parties' reply briefs until November 30th. Asked the court to give them until November 11th for all further amicus briefs to be filed. So new dates have been set in motion because Ripple consented to that. So right now, we basically have a 2-week delay on the timeline. Once again, another 2-week delay coming up on the 2-year anniversary. What a perfect time for a settlement to occur. We'll see and continue to watch this one closely, okay? But all of the additional amicus briefs need to be filed by November 11th, so that 11/11 date. Let's get it all done, get all the amicus briefs in, and then the SEC will have until the end of the month to reply to all briefs, okay? So, the SEC probably a little bit tired of seeing everyone and their brother file amicus briefs in support of Ripple, and they probably want to stop the pain at this point. Okay, we've been embarrassed enough. Let's wrap this up. Now, Coinbase just reported a net loss of $540 million in Q3 2022. Add that to $9.9 trillion asset manager Fidelity launching commission-free crypto trading for retail investors. Love to see it. And Wall Street Silver mentioning what we talked about last night. Interest payments on our $31 trillion in U.S. debt is about to exceed what we spend on the Defense Department. We are entering a debt death spiral. Interest on the debt will double if they leave rates at 4% for about 3 years. All of the debt maturing rolls over at higher rates. So it doesn't all mature at once, but as it does, we got to renegotiate that debt, and at higher interest rates. Right here, you're seeing interest on the debt will double if they leave the rates where they're at for about 3 years. But we do believe that they will have to reverse course. But as we talked about last night, they are not able to afford our current expenses. They're not, this is not a cash flow positive business, right? We are running major deficits because we are short. We have major shortfalls on our budget to the tune of $1 trillion per year plus. I don't know what the most recent numbers are, but it's trillions of dollars, okay? There's some interesting things happening in Brazil. I'm not even going to mention it, but let's just watch Brazil closely. And then I also wanted to share this one. A temporary flight restriction, a TFR, has been placed over Palm Beach, Florida. Mar-a-Lago is located in Palm Beach, Florida. The TFR went into effect on October 31st and will remain in effect until May 23rd, 2023. The FAA classifies the airspace as national defense airspace, okay? So maybe something to see there, maybe not. I don't know. Interesting to note. Let's watch that one closely, okay? Now, also wanted to share that Jim Records right here put this together for us nicely. Russia has gathered the technical and forensic evidence showing the UK sabotaged the Nord Stream pipelines with US approval. And now I'm just reporting this. Fact checkers, please, I'm just reporting this. Russia has gathered the technical and forensic evidence. They're going to make their case. And this will be made public in the coming days in a tantamount to an active war by the UK and US against Germany. This has the dynamic of a new world war. Very interesting. We will continue to watch those developments. Now, Dan LaCroix tagged me in this. Shout out to Dan LaCroix. Thank you very much. It says, very interesting. Newton here in Canada just relisted XRP. I just did a test and was able to buy some more. Great job, Dan. Love to see it. Taking advantage of that. Newton, one of the first exchanges to relist XRP since everyone decided to delist XRP. So very, very good news. And they must have some sort of clarity. Maybe they're willing to take a little bit of a risk here, but it looks like they must have some sort of clarity because these exchanges don't really move. As you were seeing with the Flare airdrop, the Flare airdrop has been extended out multiple times here and there, blaming the exchanges for it, not happening yet and getting delayed even further. Same thing happening with the relisting of XRP. These exchanges aren't going to move until they have clarity. If they're going to be selling securities, okay, then like Coinbase, they're going to go buy a brokerage license. Like they're going to go buy a company that's already licensed to sell securities, which is what Coinbase did, right? And they've already filed for those licenses. So they are very smart, strategic, and they get very good legal advice before they move, especially these, more reputable exchanges, specifically in the North American region as well. Very closely watched. And Bam530, thank you for the super chat 5 spot. I have the opportunity to get a new job and will increase my pay by 40%, but requires commuting 2 hours a day. Opinion, especially with the recession coming. Well, bam, you know, that you're only going to have to weigh that out yourself. But I will say that's a significant chunk of change more, right? You know, what's that going to do to your mental health? What's, you know, the total cost of that going to be, right? Obviously, you got your gas bill as, you know, we continue to run dry. I'm expecting the gas prices to go up after the election because they've been draining our strategic petroleum reserves to keep gas prices lower until the election. That's about to go bust, and I'm expecting things to get much worse. But being able to make 40% more, you know, I would definitely be considering that for sure. But you got to run it through, you know, where you're at in your life and where your family's at and where your family needs you. That's always most important. But I am all about bringing in 40% more. And that's what we've talked about, right? During this recession, figure out whatever it takes. Tell your boss, hey, I'm going to start learning this other skill so that you can pay me more because I'm going to bring more value once I learn this skill. Not just ask your boss, hey, boss, it's tough times. Please, can you give me a little bit more? No. You can demand that your boss give you more because you're actually worth it. It'll be a simple deal. Well, yeah, if you can do this for us, hell yeah. People running companies, entrepreneurs, capitalists, business owners, managers, if you bring in money, they'll find a spot for you. They will get a deal done. But bam, 530, congratulations on that opportunity. And you'll be able to take care of yourself and your family with that type of opportunity. And that's great to see. Good stuff, man. Now, continuing on, we were talking about Canada relisting XRP. The exchanges have to have some sort of clarity, so that's going to be very interesting to see. Now, we also have another one here, James Flan reporting that Cryptillion Payment Systems has filed an amicus brief as well. And then Zero Hedge is reporting that Elon Musk is going to fire half of Twitter on Friday. We will see if that actually ends up happening, okay? That's going to be very interesting to watch. But thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight. Let's run on into this. The main topic tonight, the generational wealth exit strategy, okay? Really looking forward to this session. Yeah, you bet. You bet. All right, folks, here we got it. The generational wealth exit strategy. Now we put the quotations around exit strategy because a big part of our strategy right here is to actually maintain control of these assets and leverage them in various ways through staking, lending, putting them up as collateral, but maintaining control, not having to sell so that we don't get taxed. We can avoid taxes, right? And then we're going to build a return off those assets, whether that's a passive income or whether we got to take a little bit of risk, use that collateral to go buy some real estate, buy some businesses. I'm going to give you guys the full breakdown of where my portfolio's at and where we're planning on taking it so that we can build and keep generational wealth, hand on something down to the children. And then when it's all said and done, I'm going to briefly talk about giving back to the community, schools, children. Really looking forward to it. So let's get straight on into it, guys. I do have a little presentation for you, a little slideshow presentation. Let's run through it, guys. My generational wealth exit strategy. Okay, here we go. So here's the summary, the table of contents, you could say. First, we're going to talk about my team of advisors, current portfolio, my portfolio allocations, the specific percentages. Then we're going to talk about my businesses. We're going to talk briefly about essentials. Now, I know you're thinking, well, what does that have to do with generational wealth? Well, if you don't have the essentials, if you're not prepped out, you can't ride out 10 days of darkness or the next hurricane that comes through town or the next cyber attack, blackout, whatever event is coming next. What does the generational wealth strategies matter if you can't feed your family, right? So we will be touching briefly on essentials before we get into our cryptocurrency, real estate, businesses, and then giving back. So first off, I need to slide my giving back. Actually needs to go down to the bottom. Let's get our slideshow in order. And let's talk about my team of advisors. So first off, guys, this is really important. We got to have our lawyers. We got to set up the legal entities. And let me make a very, very quick point here on these advisors. Folks, as you can see here, my very first one is a lawyer, right? Lawyer, accountant, banker. Specifically for legal and tax advice, I leave it all up to them. I leave it all up to my advisors, right? I don't try to spend any time trying to understand the tax code other than with my accountant, sitting down, running through our tax strategy and understanding what assets are, tax favored, have tax benefits. That's the understanding that I want. But other than that, I turn over the documents, I turn over the QuickBooks, I turn over whatever it is to my accountant, my receipts. I collect all my receipts, do the deals, right? hand it over to my accountant. When it comes to legal advice, sometimes you got to pay the lawyer $200 an hour and up. That's a cheap lawyer compared to some. Okay. But sometimes it's worth it. Now, many people get it twisted, get confused, and think that they need to pay hundreds of dollars just to set up an LLC. That's not the case. When I originally set up my LLC, I did it, after having a quick conversation with my accountant, I was able to just do it myself, and it doesn't take much time. It's not that hard, right? But there comes a time and a place in business where you got to sit down with a legal advisor, a lawyer, who can help you set up these structures, entities, trusts. And as you're going to see in this session, I'm not talking about trusts. I'm not talking about any of that, right? Because that's what you sit down with your lawyer and you set up. You figure out, what's the goal? Do I want to set up a trust for my kids? Okay, they set it up. So in this session, I'm not going to go there. I'm mostly going to be focusing on how I'm planning on keeping and multiplying my investment, my generational wealth portfolio that is made up of precious metals, right? Got a little bit of cash, got a whole lot of cryptocurrency, looking to get the real estate investment portfolio started. And then we have businesses already, and we're looking to get more. Okay. So right here, you guys can see my team of advisors. We're talking lawyers, accountants, bankers, business mentors, business managers, insurance brokers, and a quick point on internal versus external advisors. So something to understand here. At a certain point, and when you get to a certain scale, you bring on some of these teams in-house. Like, you will literally need full-time legal counsel. You will need a full-time accountant, not just a bookkeeper. No, a full-time accountant. There comes a time and place where you may need that, right? Now, but you go down the line here. Next one, bankers. People, and like, this is what we've been talking about. A lot of people are against the banks, down with the banks. No, if the banks, if for one, we're going to see who survives this liquidity debt crisis. But on the other side, I don't care if it's Bank of America, Wells Fargo, whoever it is. I don't care about the evil deeds that they've done. Whoever will provide money services for me and give me the best offer, I'm going to do the deal with. When it's time to go lend out or put up my XRP as collateral so I can buy a property, whoever will help me get the deal done, we can work. So bankers in the form of traditional bankers, community banks, larger banks, other institutions, right? You can get money from all over the place, especially as we roll into this cryptocurrency world, into this new financial system. It's already almost too easy to raise money. So that's not a problem, really. But in regards there, it's important. We got our lawyers, accountants, bankers, but then we get into the fun ones, which is going to be our business mentors. Very clear what that's for, right? For every one of my business, I have a landscape business, and then I got my media business. I got mentors in each, right? That are way ahead of the game, 10 years ahead of me, right? Way further down the line, have a actual experience, decades of experience. And another thing to note here is that I got plural lawyers, accountants, bankers, not just one. Now, right now, I have an external accountant. He's not on my team full time. I can call him up whenever because I have a great relationship with him. He's a family friend who's really helped me out, right? But I put plural on each one of these because you got to get people working for you, and it takes more than one, especially when you go to a bigger scale. So for me, it's lawyers, accountants, bankers, business mentors, and we got one for each business, one for each sector. Business managers, right? And that is people that can actually run the businesses, right? So up until this point, right, in my landscape business, I've been in the field every day. Now that's been phased out over this year, right? I'm out of the field way more, right? I ran a shovel this week. So if you're wondering where I'm at, what I'm doing, yesterday was a nice day. We went and banged out a quick job, made a nice, little day's wages, right? Real quick, nice day. Take the excavator out and bang out, put out a new driveway, and head on down the road, right? One day, bang job. That's fun, that's fine. But as we transition into a bigger role here and a bigger scale, what we've done is we've got managers to be putting in to each business so that we are not the ones in the business. We're on top of the business managing our managers, right? And we can actually run operations at a much, much larger scale, right? So that's already underway in my business, both businesses that I currently run, business managers, right? Insurance brokers, got to have them. It's an unfortunate part of the game. And then, as I said, internal versus external advisors. At a certain point, you want to bring these people in-house. You want to have them if you are going to get to that level, if you're a serious player, especially not only in business, but even in your investments too. So something to consider, and we all start out with one. We all start out with a family friend who's affordable, who's going to give us free advice. You can call them up and say, hey, I'm new in business. Can you help me out and give me a hand? That's where I've started, and it's helped me a lot. My accountant is incredible. I'm forever grateful for him, right? Unfortunately, he's at the end of his career, so I'm hopefully will outlive him, and am going to have to carry on regardless, just because he's getting to that age, right? And that's what happens with a lot of these advisors and mentors. Like, I'm almost 30 years old, right? But I'm speaking with guys that are 60 and 70, right? Some of my advisors, 60, 70, right? So, that's just something that is part of growing. And like I said, forever grateful for my hometown accountant. But there comes a day and time where you're going to have to bring the big boys on. You're going to have to get some consultation from them. But nonetheless, folks, as I said, I leave it all up for my advisors. I don't spend time playing with taxes, right? I understand why I'm buying businesses. I understand when I buy, a piece of equipment, I'm going to get a write-off. I understand when I'm going to invest in real estate because it's tax favored and I can get a lot of write-offs, right? I understand that. I understand the strategy part. But like I said, I send everything off to them. Now, let's take a look here at my current portfolio. Huge shout out to a couple super chats in the house. Thank you so much, guys. All right. Here we go. Continuing on. Current portfolio. So for cryptocurrency, this is by the size of the holdings as well. Okay. And remember, this is not financial advice. This is the current crypto portfolio that I have. XRP, XLM, Reaper, Casino Coin, Sologenic, Zilliqa, and a trading bag, which is in mostly USDT, as I've told you guys, because I've been shorting Bitcoin. That's what I've been currently doing with my trading bag. And that is in USDT, which is unfortunate. But when you do the gambling, when you go to the casino, you got to play with their chips. So that's what we're doing. That's why we have a little bit of tether, right? So XRP, XLM, Reaper, Casino Coin, Sologenic, Zilliqa, and a trading bag. And interesting thing here to note is that I sold off my XDC, Algorand, IOTA, and maybe one other cryptocurrency. I'm trying to think. Mostly, those few cryptocurrencies I sold off and put that into my trading bag. And so I took a loss on those cryptocurrencies, all of them. But I am still holding my XLM, Reaper, Casino Coin, Sologenic, Zilliqa in a trading bag. Now, Reaper, Casino Coin, Sologenic, and Zilliqa are such small positions that I don't even look at them. I don't even count. I don't even waste time with an exit strategy on them. That's just, they're so small, they're so meaningless that I just don't even actually include them in my exit strategy. And when I give you my percentages for my portfolio, I do not include those coins. I only include XRP, XLM in my trading bag because they're actually enough. Now for precious metals, I have silver. That is all I got. And, obviously I have a little bit of diversification as far as bars, eagles. Actually, I got buffalo heads. And then as far as real estate, I don't own anything, right? So I am currently renting the house that I live in. And then I have currently stacked up a down payment for my first property. And as I note here on the cash, most of my cash will be used for a down payment and property expenses. So interesting to note, some of you guys may be surprised when I give you the percentages here of my current portfolio and how much cash I got relative to my portfolio. But that's because I'm saving up for a down payment on a property. And those expenses are not only going to go towards the down payment, but other expenses for fixing up, furnishing, closing costs, and whatever we have to do to get that deal done. So that is kind of the background context of why my percentages are where they're at right now. Okay. But let's continue on. Let me show you guys here. So that's the current portfolio. The portfolio allocations by percentage. XRP is 51% of everything that I have right now under my name. I guess, guys, this doesn't include like my businesses, my business value. This is just strictly investable assets, right? Liquid assets. XRP is at 51%. Cash is at 37%. Silver is at 5%. XLM is at 3%, and my trading bag is currently at 3% there. So I know some of you guys are probably a little bit shocked that my XLM bag is that far down, but I sold off my XLM a while ago when it pumped to, what was that, 35 cents or so, is when I sold off my XLM and I traded the whole bag into XRP. And I was able to acquire a lot more XRP within that trade. And then since then, I've acquired another bag of XLM as well, which is about at break even right now. I don't know what the current price of XLM is, but I think I'm about break even on that allocation. But yeah, so I mean, as far as everything I got, most of it is in XRP. Over half of everything I got here, investable assets, is XRP. After that, I got a serious chunk in cash, but as I said, that is for a portfolio. That's a down payment. Let's get the deal done, right? After that, I actually have silver, more silver. And this is at today's prices, remember, and this also can fluctuate big time if we get one pump, right? If we get one pump for XRP, this drastically changes because my bag is heavily weighted in XRP right now, right? And then even if XLM were to make a serious move, XLM could easily become 10% of my portfolio or more and easily surpass silver, right? Silver, I'm about at a break-even cost, but I don't even really, care about that. That's no problem. I'm going to get into my silver and precious metal strategy here in a second. But yeah, right now, as far as the percentages go, I actually have more silver than I do for XLM. And then, of course, my trading bag is just a few percentage points of my overall investments, okay? Now, obviously, you guys already know this deal. My businesses that I currently run, I have my landscape business that I started in 2015, okay? So that's been going around for a while now. And then I have my media business, which I began about 2 years ago. It's funny, we're actually coming up on the 2-year anniversary of my business, my media business, and the journey that I started. I actually created my entity and everything, got the ball rolling before I even made my first piece of content, before I even made my accounts. Like, it was something that I just had kind of visualized, but then I put the ball in motion, which is, another interesting thing in regards to the businesses and changing your life here with whatever your goals may be. Just get the ball rolling, okay? Get it going your way. And, a lot of people just be sitting around with the law of attraction, just hoping and praying that something happens and thinking that you can just meditate it into existence. That can be part of your strategy, but you also want to move towards your goal too, right? So just get that ball rolling. When I started my business in 2015, I dropped out of college, right? Some would say I knew nothing. All I really knew was the skills needed for the services I was going to provide. I knew nothing about business, very little about sales. Now, I was a people person and I am a natural salesperson, but started with nothing. I started my landscape business with a hand-me-down F250 from my grandfather. Started it with a homeowner edition Honda push mower. And then I bought one combi. For those of you guys in the landscape business, you understand a combi attachment is not a weed eater. It's an engine that you can put the weed eater in. You can also put the pole saw. You can put all the different attachments. So that way I could weed eat, but I could also do little landscape bush trimming jobs too. So it's like the most efficient way to be able to get into the game, right? So I got the hand-me-down Ford F250, beautiful truck, and got the push mower, homeowner edition, saved up $700-800 cash, bought that push mower, right? And another key thing here that I want to share with you guys is that I started my business and worked one more year at my full-time day job. So I did my business on the weekends, I did it after work, and then I built up my customer list. And then after a year, that's when I left and went full-time into my own deal. My first year in business full-time, I did not make that much money, like at all. Like I barely made ends meet. And to be honest, I messed around a lot. I was like 21 years old. I was distracted. I was playing around. But we got the ball rolling. We were committed. We still showed up to work every day, right? But I'm a completely different person than I was back then, right? And I've learned so much. My experience has taken me to a whole new level in business and understanding. But I just wanted to share that little backstory kind of on where I'm at with my businesses and how I got to where I'm at here today. Started with nothing besides hustle, right? Reinvested profits, and then getting to fast forward to today, built the company and set us up so that we don't have much debt. We got good cash flow and we can make it through a recession. So that's good. That's solid, right? But now, 2-year anniversary of the media business, right? And then that's become a whole beast in itself, right? And the goal here, what we're doing right now on this channel is to help as many people as possible understand the opportunity that is cryptocurrency. But as you've seen, we've introduced all of the asset classes into our program and into our understanding so that we have a broad base, a whole infrastructure layer of our investment thesis, right? All of the asset classes, right? And that's what's so important. So that gives you guys an understanding of where I'm at with my portfolios, with my businesses. I wanted to make a quick note right here on essentials. This is essentials prepping. So none of this wealth planning matters if we can't feed our families. So before we come up with our generational wealth plan, we must have secured our prepping and essentials. The sad fact is many people will have to sell off their assets during this recession. We can see the signs everywhere that this recession is not going away anytime soon. I am in a position to hold all of my current portfolio through this recession and have mentally prepared to hold these assets through the chaos. I will not share the details of my prepping here, but it is absolutely essential. Yeah, so for safety and security reasons, we're not going to share any of my prepping essentials plans, but you bet your ass that it is a serious part of our strategy, folks. I mean, we've talked about this, a recession to-do list, it's number one, right? None of this plan, none of this, what we're talking about here tonight matters if you can't make it through the storm, if you can't make it through the chaos. We don't know what they're going to hit us with, but you prepare the same way for about all of the different scenarios. So just get your prepping done, whether that's food, whether you got the baby and you need diapers and formula, whatever it may be. You know, you better be able to secure the house too. And you already know how that deal goes, right? It's so important, guys, okay? But I just wanted to make that quick point before we move on. Now, here is what I am planning on doing with my cryptocurrency and my quote-unquote exit strategy. Let's get right on into it. For cryptocurrency, XRP specifically here, we are looking at selling 5% of my bag will be sold at $10. And let me make another quick point here. This is relative. So I may make 2 sell orders. I may make 3 sell orders in or around $10. It's not going to be exactly on $10. I'm not going to set my order at $10, exactly, right? And it may be I sell 2.5% of my bag at $8 and another 2.5% of my bag at $12. We'll see what happens, right? But the plan is, as far as the chunks, when am I going to part ways with some of the chunks? 5% of my bag will be sold at $10 and another 5% will be sold at $20. Now, let's add context. Why would I exit the future world reserve digital currency? I want to take some profits and I want to be able to start my real estate portfolio. So let's see what happens. Let's see, whether I eat up all of my money for a down payment on a house, for setting that up, and then I have enough when I exit XRP to buy my first rental property, to get into real estate, buy my first deal. Maybe that's where I'm going to be at. But that's why I am going to be taking those profits, is to move it into real estate. If I've already bought a personal house for my family, okay, then it's going to go into the first real estate deal, right? I want to get the real estate portfolio going so that I can get that and start leveraging that. One deal is going to get me into the next deal and we're going to get that rolling, okay? So that is why. Nobody believes in XRP and the future of it more, but we don't know how long this timeline is extended out. We think, ISO is going to be implemented next year. We're going to get rich by next year, maybe. But for sure, there's no way that we're not rich by 2025, right? That's what we're kind of hoping and praying for, right? But who knows what we're going to be going through, right? Who knows how extended this is going to be out? But for me, for my family, and it's really for my family, right? What I'm going to be doing is taking 5% around $10, another 5% around $20. Now, let's get right into this though. The rest of my XRP bag, I am going to be keeping. At $50 XRP, I will begin leveraging my bag, staking, lending, and using it as collateral. I will always keep 25% in my own custody as a reserve. So I will never be giving up control of more than 75% of my bag, right? So 25% of my bag, I'm going to be holding within my custody forever. That's going to be cold storage. That's going to be secure. That's not going anywhere, right? And that's because I believe in the future of XRP so much, right? So I'm going to be holding about 25%. So, I'm going to sell off about 10%, right? This next pump, whenever we get that final pump, right? And then that would leave me about 40%, right? I'm going to screw up the math right now, but basically you guys understand what I'm saying. 25% I'm never touching. So the rest of that, what's 25, 75% of my bag? No, it'd be 65, sorry. 65% of my XRP I have available to put up for collateral that I have available for lending or staking. Now, I'm not naming off specific platforms. I'm not, speculating on who's going to survive the debt liquidity crisis and what bank I'm going to be able to lend at or stake at or get collateral with. That's, to me, not what we have to focus on. There's going to be tons of DeFi coming to the XRP ledger. You'll be able to stake it in 100 different spots. And every bank and financial institution will be more than joyous to accept your XRP as collateral, for you to give them custody of your XRP, or for you to sell your XRP back in to the US cbdc, right? And now I understand a lot of people, have this concern about not selling back into cbdc. Oh, you're going to have to sell back into evil. I've made it clear, and as I'm explaining here tonight, I need assets, right? So that I can acquire resources to take care of my family. It's very simple. And whether that's the systems go down and the resources that I'm collecting is, food, silver, whatever it may be, essentials, or while the system's live, I'm going to be using the CBDC, and I don't care, whatever currency it is, whatever deal it has to be. At the end of the day, we want assets that provide cash flow. We want assets that give us resources, that give us commodities, that spit off something. That's the point. That have real utility and bring real value to the world. Now, okay. Yeah, so as I said here, I am going to keep 25% of this bag in my reserves, in my custody forever, right? But after $50, so let me be very clear about that. I believe, and I'm just kind of throwing this number out there, but I've written it down. It is my number. At $50 XRP, that's when I feel comfortable leveraging, lending, staking, taking, hey, here bank, here's 5,000 XRP so that I can go buy a piece of property or go buy a business, which I'm about to get into, right? At that point, I will be fine leveraging, lending, staking, but I'm not going to be giving up control. Debt is not taxed. So if I take out those loans, or if I stake my XRP, I'm lending it out or putting it up as collateral, I'm going to buy assets that are going to produce more cash flow. That's the whole program. Now, let's take a look here. For XLM, I plan on selling 25% of my position at $5, another 25% at $10, and leveraging the rest of my position in the same way as I will my XRP bag. I have not done the calculations. I do not have that $50 price that I have for XRP where I'm going to start staking, lending, and doing DeFi with my XRP. I don't have that price calculated out for XLM. I really don't know what that is. When I do my XLM deep dive, I will probably share that with you guys. But for the time being, the price points that I've had is $5 is kind of the target that I had for the pump, the bull run that I thought we were going to get for XRP and XLM. I kept on saying that XLM should easily go to $3 to $5. And that was based off the fact that we were seeing all of the cryptos that were around in the last bull run did about a 3 to 5x this bull run than they did back in 2017 in the previous bull run. So XLM hit about $1 in 2017, 2018 bull run. So that's why I had targets of $3 to $5, and that's where the Fibonacci extension took us. So, my targets for XLM, and I'm not as married to my XLM as I am to XRP. So that's why I'm going to take those chunks of profit sooner. And that's going to be at those price targets of $5, and then once again at $10 for XLM. After that, I will let you guys know when I do my XLM deep dive on kind of what that next target's going to be, where I'm going to leverage my bag in a similar way. So I will, kind of always have 50% of my XLM bag, right? I'm planning on keeping that forever. But I'm not worried about keeping it in my cold storage and keeping it safe. I'll be fine playing around with that because I'm not as married to my XLM as I am to my XRP. So, I'll be doing staking, lending, collateral so that I can take that and buy more businesses in real estate with my XLM bag. Yeah. So I'll have sold 50% of my bag by $10, and then the rest of it I'm holding on forever. But we're gonna leverage that bag for sure. Okay. And now, as I said, the altcoins offloading all during the next bull run. So, or as soon as I get a return, if someone were to pump, I'm waiting for, like Casino Coin, Reaper, if they catch some random pump with Reaper or something, I might offload. It's a relatively small bag. It's such a small allocation. Like I said, I don't even really waste my time doing an exit strategy with it. Like in the case of Reaper, I'm interested because they're doing a drip program. So they're giving you stimulus. They're giving you a return for holding Reaper, but it's paid in XRP. That shit is what we love, right? We hold the Reaper token and we get paid back in XRP. And not to shill Reaper, I'm not shilling Reaper at all. I've had the CEO, Patrick Riley, on and talk with those guys. They're good guys and interesting project for sure. But that's one DeFi instance right there that, we can take advantage of. By being a Reaper holder, we get paid out in XRP. That's what I'm talking about, right? And then I take my XRP and then I put it in an XRP staking lending platform or whatever it may be. And then it just continues to compound. That's what it's all about, right? But yeah, as far as Reaper, Casino Coin, any of these other positions that I got, I'm planning on just offloading them next bull run. Casino Coin likely could pump when XRP goes. All of these XRPledger tokens will probably go in or around when XRP goes. And then that's when I'm going to offload all of those. And I don't even have really a plan for that. On most of them, as soon as I get like a 3 to 5x, I will be glad to take my profits on them. And it's such a small portion of my portfolio that I just don't even really spend too much time on it. Now, continuing on, let's talk about silver. So you guys saw 5% of my current allocation is silver right now of all of my investable assets and money. Silver is for blackout barter. And I coined that term. That's for when the lights go out, when the system goes down. What do you have, during that time for barter, for trade? What currency, what essentials, what can you trade? What resources do you got? And that is why I got silver. I hold silver to have as an offline asset. I am not looking to sell my silver for USD or CBDC. Silver will always be used as a currency. Once silver surpasses $100 per ounce, I will reconsider my allocation. Okay, so couple things here to note. I just told you guys that I will consider doing something with my silver once it surpasses $100 per ounce. That will be about a 5x for me on my return. So my initial, investments here into silver have been around $20 spot. Obviously, $20 has been spot, and I've been paying a little bit over spot price, right? So, my average buy-in's less than $30, I think $25, whatever it is. But, 4 to 5x is what we'd have if silver goes to $100 per ounce. At that point, I will consider using my silver. But like I said, I'm not planning on going back to my dealer necessarily to trade him for USD, for cash, or for CBDC. I really want to hold my silver forever for an offline asset, for an asset outside of the system, for a store of value, for something that I can pass on, for I don't even want to say too much actually, but you guys understand what I'm getting at here, right? I can use it for barter, right? It is a currency and it will always be a currency, right? I said, I'm not looking to sell my silver for USD or CBDC. Silver will always be used as a currency and I plan on using it for such. So I'm going to use it to buy, other things that I need, other things that I may need, right? That is why I have silver, and my exit strategy on my silver position is not to play around to really do anything until it's well past $100 per ounce, right? And another thing that I want to note here too is, guys, I'm talking about some of these exit targets. You guys know that I talk about XRP potentially going to 3, 4, and 5 digits. I talk about silver potentially can go well into the 3 digits, right? But I'm just giving you these price points where I think markets start to stabilize and prices could start to stabilize. And that's where I would feel comfortable making moves. I don't want to really be making my moves when we're still going through a debt liquidity crisis. Like, that's not when I'm going to be looking for a bank to, put up my XRP as collateral with. That's not when I'm going to be looking to play around, right? After all of that's done and the few players are left standing that survive the liquidity crisis, that actually survived regulations, have created a real DeFi protocol on the XRP ledger that's decentralized and actually works, that's when I'm going to make my allocations. And that is the price point targets that I have in mind for where we are going to go after the suppressed assets roll. I think $100 silver is easily done, and I think that $50 XRP is easily done. And then XLM, I will let you guys know in the XLM deep dive that price point, okay? Now, continuing on, let's huge shout out to everyone who's joining me tonight. Please, if you guys can, please smash that thumbs up for me. I greatly appreciate it. Now, you guys hear a lot of people talk about investing in real estate, right? For me, I'm going in with a real strategy, real plan to execute on. So let's talk about real estate here. All right, first off, as always, I'm investing in my team first. Specifically in real estate, we're talking about brokers, property managers, and contractors, just to name a few. That's just a few examples. We build out the team first because I'm moving in with the real business. Not just let's buy a couple single family homes, let's buy a couple duplexes and call it a day. No. Serious property business, okay? And for you guys, you understand that, right? I have a landscape business, so I'm already tapped in on the home service business level, and I already understand properties a lot. I already understand my market like the back of my hand, and so I've been watching it very closely, and I'm ready to take advantage of that here once we get the real estate portfolio rolling. Now, as I stated, we're going to use profits and crypto as collateral to start building a real estate portfolio. And then along with just profits from my other businesses, I will put into real estate as well. Right now, before the flip of the switch, I'm investing mostly in the suppressed assets, right? But for real estate, what I'm looking to go into right here, I name these specific segments of real estate for you guys. Senior housing and assisted living, mobile home parks, and then eventually, if all goes well, and then I can play around, I would like to do high-end custom homes, okay? But right here, you guys see, for me, I want to go into this space with this asset class focused on utility. If you look at the demographics, we have a huge amount in that baby boomer population, a huge amount of senior housing that's going to be needed for decades to come, right? And on top of that, assisted living, okay? This is a business. This isn't just buying a duplex, right? So that we can collect the rent check at the end of the month and have a little bit of cash flow. No. This is in building out a real business to go into this segment of real estate with a serious strategy to compete on a serious level, right? And I believe that the reason why I want to go into it is because it's some of the biggest problems. Just like what we talk about with cryptocurrency, they're solving the biggest problems. These problems have the highest value. I believe the same thing here with senior housing and assisted living. I mean, just from a cash flow perspective, you look at the numbers, what you can get for rent in a square foot in senior housing or assisted living versus what you'd accomplish in just a regular renting out to a regular person in an apartment, it's pretty staggering. But it's a business. It's not passive. And I understand that. But I'm not going to do all the work. I'm going to build out a team. Very key, right? This is why first we build a team. Next, we get the money. Then we're going to go into senior housing, assisted living, mobile home parks. Now, I put mobile home parks because it's utility housing. And as we go into tougher times, as people want just clean, affordable housing, I think that mobile home parks have already been super hot. And they got overheated. Everything got overheated, and we're resetting and restructuring that right now. So that's an opportunity for us as we venture into this space, right? The advantages that I have with mobile home parks and just developments in general is I already have the means to do groundwork, to do earthwork, to prepare and develop out pads, to build out literally parks, mobile home parks, and structures like that, right? And then it's just a matter of bringing in the homes. So I say mobile home parks, but another point that I want to make is, maybe down the road that ends up being something different. Mobile home parks, I just put that in there because I think it's affordable. It's affordable housing, right? And but I don't care if it's going to be tiny houses, if we need to build some tiny house villages. The reason what I'm looking at is affordable housing, and then like I said, it's because it's utility housing. And I also think that we're going to have a desire for people to get out of, like, the coffin apartments aren't for everyone. Some people just want their own little space, even if it's a little pad. And so that's why we've seen a growing demand for mobile home parks. but that doesn't mean it has to be trailer trash. Like I want to run really clean mobile home parks, right? Like run a really clean affordable housing situation. That's what I'm looking at. Utility plays within real estate, massive problems. And that's going to have to be two different businesses, but it's under the same umbrella. You understand this, the structures and all that we're going to have the lawyers set up. I don't worry about the structure right now. When that time comes, I'll have the lawyers ready to go. Senior housing and assisted living, that's going to be a whole different business. Mobile home parks, whole different part of the operation, right? A whole different division. But this is all part of the real estate investment portfolio and the real estate business. This isn't just an investment for me. This is a business. So that's a key distinction between what I'm going to be doing and what a lot of people do with the real estate. A lot of people just want to own 10 homes, get a bunch of Fannie, Freddie Mae loans, right? Stack up 10 of them, and then you're good to go, right? Stack up a few properties and you're good to go. You got enough to retire on. For me, these are going to be real businesses, big businesses. And then, like I said, at the end, I would like to play around and get into custom homes. I just think that'd be fun. Higher end custom homes. I already do, higher end landscape design and install. And so for me, it's just right up my alley, right? And so eventually I'd like to play around with that, but that comes after utility first, solving real big problems first. And then we go around and we play around with the, custom homes eventually, right? But this for me, it all begins with the real estate. It all begins with the team first. Very key. Now, let's talk about the businesses. So you guys understand, I'm already in the home services space. I have a landscape business, right? Landscape lawn care. So we're already in home services. But next on the list there, I put construction, right? Which we already tap into a certain level of landscape construction, but I'd like to go full construction, right? Property management. We want to be able to manage these properties, and we're going to have our own people in place on some of these properties. Then we got the media company. So that's obviously 2-year anniversary coming up for that business, and we're just getting started, and we have major plans for growing that, making that something that's just bigger than myself. Right now I'm the main influencer, right, in this media business. It's just me, right? My media business is me and my brand essentially, but the plan is to go much further than that down the road. Okay. And then I also put financial educational services. Okay. And that's what we've been doing kind of within our Discord community, is just financial education, investment, research, and community, right? So we've already kind of started that. And then I also put here healthcare, which is part of assisted living and home health, which relates back to the real estate play as well. And then lastly, I put development. So development is very hard to do, very risky, some would say, and you need a lot of money. So that's why I put development last. For me, it's about building utility first. I already have a couple businesses, and I'm not looking at adding any more businesses, adding more services that I have to do myself. I already spend enough time managing my landscape business and then managing and making content for my media business that I have no time, right? If I want to have time for my kids, if I want to have time for the wife and a healthy family, I can't do more work myself. I have to focus on what is the most productive work for me to be doing over the next decade, right? And right here, healthcare and assisted living and home health. There's multiple aspects of this, right? So you got home health, which can be you sending out nurses to people's houses, sending out caregivers and people like that, right? And then you have assisted living housing, right? And then you just have senior housing, right? So there's a few different segments of that. But my mentor, Dan Pena, continues to reiterate that healthcare is one of the best opportunities for anyone to get into right now. And you guys have seen the health crisis over the last 2 years. There's a serious problem. We have the baby boomer generation that can't afford, that is having their 401ks wiped out as we speak. Their retirement accounts wiped out as we speak. The little real estate portfolio that they did build, the little nest egg that they were planning on handing down to the kids, to you, that's getting wiped out right now, right? So this is unfortunate. I want to help be helping to solve that problem, provide a solution. Here's clean, affordable senior housing. Then you move, and then, like I said, in the home health business, it moves all the way from you sending out service providers to the house, to their place of residence, all the way to you just housing them within the assisted living, right? But The reason why, let me give you guys my why on this business, because I don't want you guys to think that I'm just like throwing this out there. Like this is, oh, it's a hot topic. And my mentor, Dan Pena, said it has the highest margins and whatever. It's the most opportunity. I'm not just doing it for the money. I want to give you guys my why. And I want you guys to understand where I'm coming from. My father had a stroke about 4 or 5 years ago now. Okay. So he's had caregivers coming to his house. I've lived through this, right? And I've seen the other side of it, the recipient of the services that I'm talking about. And for me, it got me motivated, got me thinking down the road, if I got to another level of business, if I had the opportunity, that's what I wanted to go into. That looks interesting. Like that looks like people need better care. They could do better. And then by the grace of God, I come across this crazy old man named Dan Pena, who's talking about the Quantum Leap Advantage program that he has shared with me and many of his mentees. And he talks about the different business sectors that have the most opportunity and the highest margins, and that he recommends people go in and roll up in it's mergers and acquisitions. The Carnegie model is what Dan's program is, and that's what I'm going to be implementing as well. So my plan for me, and that's my why, like I said, is I've seen it. I've seen it with my grandparents too, having hospice come. I've seen it all, right? And let me tell you, kind of similar to lawn care landscape, it's a dirty job. It's not for everyone. Dan calls the bedpan business one of the best businesses, right? But not many people want to be doing bedpans. It's a shitty business, right? Not for everyone. But it's a massive problem that we're going to be facing over the next decade, right? And then you got the real estate aspect of it as well. Whereas you could be renting out a room for $2,000 a month to some regular person in your apartment, or you could be renting that spot out for $5,000 to $10,000 a month in a luxury assisted living facility. Okay. So for me, there's high margins, but I also have a why behind it. Right? Like I started my landscape business because it's what I knew how to do. I started on a golf course. I left the golf course to go into my landscape business. So I knew how to keep a golf course looking nice. That's why I started the business, because I wanted to go into business for myself and be an entrepreneur. And that's what I knew how to do. So that's what business I picked. But as we go forward, I'm very strategic. I'm very thought out. I've studied the different sectors and the different opportunities at play and what moves me, that I have some passion about. Because at the end of the day, it has to be more than money when it comes to business as well. So for me, that's my why, is I have my strong why, my passion there, but then the margins are fantastic. The margins are very good, okay? And the industry's going through chaos, which is all the more opportunity for us as well. The industry needs people to step up and provide solutions. That's where we come in. So for me, those are the businesses that I am going to be, I already run a couple of them, right? But those are the businesses that I'm going to be going into as we cash out and we roll our profits into real estate and business. So it's going to be home services, construction, property management, which kind of all tie together, right? My media company and the financial education services business, that's kind of another company. And then healthcare, assisted living, home health, and then development down the road. Development's something that I want to play with. It's kind of why I finished with real estate with custom homes, is because if we get there, if we have time, it'd be fun. Yeah, it'd be fun. Do like big HOAs, do big developments. I'd love to get into that too. Master community planning. And here's the reason why, is because I laugh. It's job security for us, but every single development that's going in around here and in your community too is being thrown up with the cheapest products in the fastest possible way for the cheapest cost. And it is a shit product in most cases, which is job security for a landscaper. Because, okay, you're putting in 500 homes up the road. Fantastic. That's 500 landscapes that need to be maintained at the very least. But if the homeowner has the money, we should probably just end up ripping up and redoing the whole thing too. So that's job security. And along with all the carpenters, contractors, if you're in the home services business, that's job security for you. Now, the unfortunate events of the last 2 years, the health crisis, that's an opportunity as well. For me, it's sad. Our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone involved, but let's be part of the solution. Not only is there some money to be made, but let's go be part of the solution. And for me, I know other people will want to see and get similar treatment to what I want for my father, what I want for my family. let me speak on that a little bit further. My father had a stroke, so he can't see out of his left eye. He can barely move his left side of his body. Can you imagine? Right? So as with many stroke patients, the whole left side of the whole left side barely functions. Okay? That's very frustrating. That's very tough on somebody. Been tough on my family. And I'm getting personal with you guys because I want you to understand where I'm coming from. I don't just spew this bullshit because it's cute, because it's, we're talking about, oh, this opportunity. No, I'm really moved to do this stuff, and I see what struggles we've had with him and our family and the caregivers and everything that we've gone through. And so I see a serious opportunity there, serious opportunity. And, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it because, as I'm about to share with you guys too, not only are we motivated by our passion in these businesses, not just about the profits, but it's part of giving back. When I'm about to share with you, kind of a little bit further on what I want to do giving back, but we have a reason, we have a why for these businesses, which helps make them successful. In my media business, I want to help as many people understand this opportunity, cryptocurrency, before they flip the switch, and then understand all of the different asset classes and have a true financial education so that you yourself can build generational wealth as well and hand something on down to the kids. Now, speaking of giving back, I say here, when I have handed off the empire to my children, I want to spend the rest of my days taking care of my organic farm and providing resources for children. I will set up a charity to manage the various programs we will have for giving back. The focus will be on the youth, but through my assisted living business, I plan on helping the elderly as well. So that's where I'm at. That is my generational wealth exit strategy. I know maybe you guys were looking for a little bit more details as far as price points, as far as, but the main thing that I wanted to give with you guys is not only, okay, at these price points, I'm going to shift some of it into these assets, but specifically talking about my plan for my real estate business, right? For my real estate investments, specifically talking about the different businesses and the sectors that I'm looking at going into, that I'm already in, that I'm looking at doubling down on, and then the new ones that I want to go into down the road. But if I can say one thing, it's remain focused. Those who stay focused the longest win. It's one thing to have a quick little hot business, and you guys are seeing it right now. All the speculators, all the flippers, all the people that had a new little startup, they were able to raise a bunch of money. It's a little bit easier to raise the money than it is to actually provide a cash flow business, to actually build out something that brings real value and has profit. And so we see the speculators going bust right now as we speak. For me, anything that I'm building needs to withstand this current recession, right? But it's a business that I will be able to put managers into place so I can hand it off to my children as well. Whether that's a very, very small stake in the company, because I've had to give up equity to people that came in as managers, as team members, as advisors, as partners. But I only own 10% of the assisted living business, right? Because we've taken on investments, we've taken on partners, we've split up the equity. I only have 10% of it, but I have something that can run itself, and my children can decide, do you want to participate in this business or that business, or none of the businesses? You want to go create your own business? It's all about being able to hand on something down, an opportunity, right? And to be able to give them the opportunity to pursue what they want to go into, right? Giving them options. Not just funding. It's about opportunity, right? And so for me, my plan is to build out these assets over the next 5 to 10 years, right? And then over the course of the next decade, I'm planning on having this all built out, executed, and I will come back to you and report on where we're at with this. I'm sure we'll be revisiting this even just in the next 3 to 6 months. This could change. This can change any day, guys. I mean, it really can. But right now, this is where I've been at. This is where I've been set now for about basically since the beginning of this year. And that's why I've stacked so much more cash, and I haven't been investing more in crypto. Even though I want to buy the dip, I want to buy more in crypto, is because I have to get something for my family, right? Right now renting is all right. It works out. But as I told you guys with my end goal, I want to end my days taking care of my ranch, taking care of my farm, having an abundance of organic fruit and vegetables, and then having, my animals, my livestock, but also focusing most of my time on building out resources for schools, children, funding for projects, funding for development for the kids. Once I get towards the end, I want to give it all my time going back to those that are just getting started, to uplift those that are going to do something going forward for humanity. So that's my end goal. I'm not planning on being there in 10 years. One thing to note is I don't have a retirement plan. I don't not just a 401k IRA. I don't have any of those, but I also don't have at this price point, I'm going to be retired on a beach. That is nowhere on my plan, nowhere in my generational wealth exit strategy. Will I take a vacation to a beach? Yes. I don't spend a second thinking about that. That doesn't move me. I get passionate, as you can tell, passionate talking about building out these businesses down the road, doing these real estate developments, and so for me, everything that I'm building is ready to withstand this storm, but it's going to be building out something that doesn't require my participation in, because at this point, I already got a full plate. So right now we build out team. Right now we build out infrastructure. We make sure that we can ride out the recession. We continue to have cash flow, right? And then the other thing that we're going to be doing too, and I showed with you guys, I haven't split up I'm going to take my profits from XRP and put it into real estate first. I'm going to take my profits and put it into businesses first. I will assess that situation when I get there. This is a moving, living document, plan, strategy, right? It's built off of serious investment, research, and understanding over the past decade that got us here, but it can still move. It can still be adjusted if needed. But at that time, when I go from cryptocurrency to real estate and businesses, I will evaluate. Like I said, if, I've already bought a house for the family and now it's time to buy the first investment property, then that's where we're going to go if I'm feeling that. If I have an opportunity to go buy another business or start another business and I feel like I'm ready to do that, that's the plan, right? But those are my dreams and what I've written down, my vision, right? And every day I am trying to focus on what steps do I need to take next to get me to these goals, to make this dream a reality. I've already gotten so far. Most businesses fail in their first 5 years. Most businesses fail in their first 10, but we've been able to withstand this. We're in a great spot and I'm really excited about where we're going, guys. No one believes in the future of cryptocurrency more than me, right? This is going to change our lives for sure. But I just highly recommend you guys have a serious strategy because this crypto moves so damn fast. And I believe the suppressed assets are going to move very fast as well. But for us, I want you guys to understand every single asset class from precious. First off, get your essentials and prepping done, right? First thing to do, essentials and prepping. But then we need to understand precious metals, real estate, businesses, and then the cryptocurrency space we think is the biggest opportunity out there. But nonetheless, nothing that I said here tonight was meant to be financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. But if you guys did enjoy our content tonight, if you did enjoy this deep dive on my generational wealth exit strategy and plan, please smash that thumbs up. Feel free to share this content with other like-minded individuals. And you can find everything over at my website, zachrector.com. I appreciate all of you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. God bless you all. Thank you.